went out in the hall and we said, let's just get out of here so we don't get in trouble. So we went outside and then we decided, well, let's just run away. So both of us went to our homes that night and put a little sack of clothes together and threw it out the upstairs window. I did. Picked it up in the morning. Instead of going to school, we met and started hitchhiking down the road. And came back about 9 months later.
9 months?
Huh?
9 months?
Yeah.
So what'd you do in the meantime for food and money and all that?
Well, the war was on, and there was a big shortage of labor. And you could get a job within 10 minutes, anywhere you were.
So what kind of jobs did you take?
Oh, my first job was picking chickens in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They had a picking chicken machine or chicken picking machine. You know, where it knocked the feathers off with these little hoses and whatnot.
Yeah.
We would just work till we got a little money for food, like $15, $20 or something like that, and then we'd quit.
And then just take off hitchhiking again?
Yeah, we never once bought a ticket anywhere. We hitchhiked everywhere we went.
So did you ever jump on any trains and hobo?
Well, we hopped a freight now and then.
So where all did you go?
Huh? We went out to California.
Yeah?
Worked our way out there.
You go out to the coast?
No, we didn't go all the way to the coast. We didn't see the ocean, no.
And how old were you at this time?
Well, 14, I guess.
Just took off.
Huh?
You just took off?
Yeah.
Well, I remember some story where the cops picked you up and they gave you shotguns. What's that all about?
Oh, that was, well, this guy had picked us up, and he was a state patrol, and then he got, he would talk to us. He was taking us to the station to check us out. In those days, they had to take you to the station to check you out. And he got a call that I think it was the Nash brothers are in some hideout or something, and get him. So he took off squealing, and he ran up to this place, and he said, now I'm going up to that house, and he handed me a shotgun and said, now you cover me. If you hear any gunfire, just shoot at that house with his shotgun. And here he's supposed to be arresting me, you know. But nobody was there, and so it turned out all right.
So you know how to shoot a gun then at that time, huh?
Well, yeah, sure. We had a lot of experiences in those 9 months, believe me.
So tell me some of your more adventures about that. What I mean, that's a 9-month adventure. That's quite a trip.
Well, I don't know. There's something different happening. Well, we're sitting there, and we each had about $20 a piece, and that would feed us for, you know, when you get a hamburger, that'd feed you for, you know, 5-6 days or something. And a farmer came by and said that all his pigs were dying, and wouldn't we help him? He couldn't find anybody to help him vaccinate his pigs. He had, I don't know, a couple thousand pigs. So we looked at each other and said, well, the poor guy needs help. So, and we were rich. We had about $20. So we went there and we worked all day and night vaccinating pigs. We had to catch them and put them in a little trough, and he'd shoot them. And I guess they lived. I don't know. But we went to another farmer, and he was bringing in broom corn, the top on top of corn for making brooms.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any help, and the corn had to be pulled right away. So we said, okay, we'll work here long enough to get all your fields in. And we came home that night. He got out 4 big bowls out of the oven, black beans, and I don't know, 4 bowls of beans, and we ate them. Next morning we got up, he took them out of the oven, we ate that again. That night we came in from the field, he got them out, and this went on for about 4 days. We looked at each other and we said, we just can't eat this anymore. So we left him. It's all, you know, it's harvest time. You know, it was harvest time, and they didn't want to waste any minute. They wanted every minute spent bringing in the crop, and so they cooked enough for a whole week on Sunday, and that was it.
So where all did you go in these 9 months?
Well, we ended up in the Mojave Desert. We were hitchhiking, and it was late at night in Mojave Desert. No, I think it was the Mojave. And this guy picked us up, and we didn't pay attention, and he turned down some dirt road, and we got off the main highway, and went hours and hours into the middle of the desert. And then he said, well, I'm turning off here. And so we got out of the car, and he disappeared down another road. And by morning, it was nighttime by then. By morning, we got up, and we were in the middle of a desert, and no cars coming by, no nothing. We didn't know where we were. So we started walking. We walked all that day, got hot, no water, about to die of thirst. So anyway, the next day, though, finally a car came by and took us into Needles, California or something.
Yeah.
So we got food, water. Water is what kills you.
Yeah.
But we had, just one thing after another. 14-year-old kids.
So people didn't think anything of picking up some 14-year-old guys out in the middle of nowhere?
Well, the police would pick us up and check us out and let us go. Now, yeah, we got picked up quite frequently. Oh, yeah, well, see, my guy that I went away with, he was smoked. And he always wanted to, we'd have, 50 cents left, and he'd want to buy cigarettes, and I'd want to buy a hamburger. So he'd just starve to death, that's all. I'd eat the hamburger. Cigarettes were more important to him. Yeah, he was the doctor's son.
So he was probably used to having a pretty good life. So was it hard for him to be out and not have a whole lot?
Well, if he felt that way, I didn't know it. You're just trying to exist, that's all.
So you didn't really have any plans? You just took off to see the country, or what?
Yeah, no plans at all. Just wherever we hitch our ride, we go where you're going.
Well, so what'd your parents think about you just taking off? They just had no idea? They thought you were dead, or what?
Well, I would write them a postcard when we leave a town, so they'd know I was still alive. But I'd wait till we're just leaving town. I'd put the postcard in the mail and tell them where everything's fine. Yeah. The war was on, and you couldn't buy shoes because I had to have a ration ticket to buy shoes, and I was walking on. I had to put cardboard in my shoes and whatnot because I was walking on my bare feet almost. And we just live with it. That's all. Get an old hunk of leather and stick under your shoe.
So where'd you sleep?
Well, we slept in haystacks. We slept in, a favorite spot was car lots. Go to a used car lot and find the one open and just go in there and go sleep. Or anything, just. We never once rented a motel room or anything like that.
So you never had showers or nothing?
Huh?
You never had any showers or anything like that?
Yeah, you could get showers in different places. I don't know where we did, but we would, yeah. Well, a lot of times when we go to work, they would put us up, especially farm hands. We could shower there.
Yeah. So what made you decide to come back?
Well, when we got stuck out in the desert. We almost starved to death, or died of thirst, I guess. And we decided that this is not so good, so we headed home then.
What all states did you visit?
Well, I guess we went through Oklahoma and Texas, Arkansas, and New Mexico, and Arizona, and California, and we went up north, I guess Colorado, I don't know, all those western states.
So did you have to do any thieving?
Any what?
Thieving?
Thieving?
Yeah.
Stealing?
Yeah.
No, we didn't steal. We didn't think about that. We didn't do any stealing, because I think they lock you up for that. It was a different time. You could get a job, believe me. You just walk down the street and they'd ask you, "Would you want to go to work?" Because everybody was in the service working.
Uh-huh. So there wasn't a lot of guys around. So did you have a lot of chances with the ladies?
No, we were too young at that age to think about that, and we'd rather have a hamburger than a girl. So.
Yeah. So, what was the most exciting thing you did in those 9 months?
Oh Lord, I don't know. Most exciting thing? I don't know. That's a long time ago.
So, what did your parents think when you came back?
Well, when you're gone that see you. You know, you're not in trouble anymore. You're welcome home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was welcomed home.
So you just came home and started going back to school, and that's it?
Well, I was certainly in between semesters. I found a job and worked for I don't know how long, till the next semester started, and then I went back to school.
So why'd you go in the Marines?
Oh, that was a macho thing to do. You get out of high school and you go in the Marines.
Was everybody doing it?
Well, they're going in the service, yeah.
Yeah, and the Marines was the best of the best?
Oh, you know they are. Oh, I don't know.
So do you regret going through the Marines?
Did who?
Do you regret it?
No, heck no.
Would you recommend it?
Oh. Going into service will ruin some people and make a man out of other people, so I guess it has to depend on the individual.
Yeah. So where all did you go in the Marines?
I just stateside. They made me an airplane mechanic. Why, I don't know, but that's what they decided I should do.
So you didn't have to fight in any wars or anything, did you?
No, Time I got through training, the war was over. They trained me in war conditions, and then there wasn't any war. Then they didn't know what to do with us. They had thousands of Marines and nothing to do with them.
So then you came back and went to school, and that's that?
Yeah, that's the story of my life.
What'd you do when you got out of college?
Well, while I was in college, I worked for my uncle as a hod carrier. You know, he had this little business patching boilers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I worked with him as a laborer or hod carrier every summer. And then I just went to work for him and been there ever since.
So how'd you end up being the president of a company?
I've just been there so long they didn't know what else to do with me.
Let me tell you something.
That's all.
So how long did it take you to become president?
Oh boy. Probably 12 years. 12 years, I think.
12 years, and you're the president? And how long have you been the president?
Well, I've been there about since 1947, I think, something like that. 48.
47.
So like 40 years you've been the president of the company?
Something like that, yeah.
Jamie,
Yeah.
he was in boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, three of them joined together, the Marines. And this guy ended up being our best man. But they were so mean and so hateful to those kids, toughen them up so they could take them to war and say, go, take that hill. They were so terrible to these kids. They called him shithead. They called him every dirty, filthy word you can think, and they were so mean to him. So anyway, Jerry Stryler, he had to go in town to have a tooth fixed. And he stopped and bought 2 Hershey bars, one for him and one for his Guppy. And when he went back, Guppy was by his bed, and he tossed this Hershey bar on the bed. And Guppy didn't tell me this, but Jerry did it. Jerry said he teared up like he was going to cry. Because somebody treated him like he was a human being. That's how bad the service was. Isn't that terrible that they were that hateful to those people? Kids, they were just kids. Here's Dan.
Hello.
So I'm interested in the farmhouse. What made you buy the farmhouse?
What made me buy the farmhouse?
Yeah.
Because it was on the farm.
Well, how many acres did you have?
Oh, I got up to 3,000 acres.
And what was your intention with it? Just to own a farm and to work the farm and?
Well, I started out just as a tax shelter.
Yeah.
Was their initial idea. And then it got to be obsession. And I was going to make it work, and I finally, after how long do we have this farm? 20? Yeah, 18 years, I figured out it was a loser. I
So you bought the farm first and then bought the lake house?
No, I bought the lake house first. 4 years later, I bought the first farm.
Okay. And did you buy the farm all in one piece?
No. Bought it, and a farmer doesn't want all the land. He just wants all the land adjacent to his land. That's just the way you are. You just say, oh, there's a part over there.
So how much did you buy initially?
640 acres, I think.
And what'd that cost you?
Oh boy, I think it didn't. 265,000, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And how long did it take you to acquire the 3,000 acres?
Oh, probably 15 years or something like that.
So what made you want to buy the lake house?
Well, that was just it was a dream. We both all like water, and
Yeah.
place to go and have fun every weekend.
So that was your vacation home.
Yeah, well, we used to go camping prior to owning the lake house, and Jeannie was so allergic to bug bites, she couldn't go with us, so we just said, well, let's buy a lake house, and we don't have to worry about that.
What year was it when you bought the lake house?
1970.
And what was the lake like back then?
Oh, just a boat went by every now and then. The girls used to swim over the island and back, race each other. That's about a mile swim. And it was really nice. You only had it wasn't crowded at all. There wasn't any houses, we were the only one on the point.
So what was the strip like back then? Was there a strip?
Oh yeah, there was a strip, but it was, now it seems like it's mostly shops. They used to have rides and, entertainment stuff up there.
Yeah.
Now it's all just shopping centers,
So I hear you used to be quite the skier back in the day.
No, I never was.
Well,
I skied, but
somebody told me about you and your buddies used to make like a chair on skis.
well, yeah, that's not hard to do.
Where'd you get that idea?
Watching movies or going to the ski shows.
Yeah. So what was your first boat?
Oh, the first boat was a little bitty 35 horsepower outboard Evinrude, a little 16-foot boat.
Tell me about Grandma sinking a boat.
Well, we went over and bought a jet ski that was supposed to be a 16-foot long. That was supposed to be a real fast race boat,
Mm-hmm.
and it only had a freeboard of about 4 inches or something on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. We were in the dock, and she started it for some reason. Started the engine, and the throttle was stuck shut, and the thing just jumped up on the dock, out of the water and up on the dock, and then it slid backwards into the water and sank. That's 60 feet of water.
So did you guys pull it up, or?
Well, the marina where we were getting gas, he said, leave it there, and we'll pull it up. We'll send a diver down and hook on and pull it up first thing in the morning, and then we'll take it apart that day so it doesn't rust and lubricate it and do all that stuff right after we pull it up, and then you can get it tomorrow. So that's what we did.
So you had bought the boat. It was your boat.
Yeah, it's my boat. We had just bought it that day, or day before, I don't know.
So you must have been pretty mad.
Well, I don't know if I was mad or not.
But nobody got hurt?
No, nobody was hurt. And they fixed the boat back. They took it all apart and got all the water out of it, and lubricated it, changed the oil and all that.
So it worked fine after that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, there's a story about you going to the Bahamas on a sailboat with some of the older siblings.
Where do you hear all these stories?
I've only heard bits and pieces of them. I just want to get them down because you're the oldest one during then, so you probably have the most accurate recollection. But something with somebody falling off the sail. I don't know enough about it.
Well, I bought a sailboat, took it down to Florida, sailed out of just south of Miami, out of Coral Gables, and the whole family was going to go, but they all chickened out except
Mm-hmm.
So the three of us set out for the Bahamas in this sailboat.
Yeah.
And, you know, all I did was read a book on how to sail. I'd never had any experience. So right off the bat, while I set course, you know, we didn't have any of this modern stuff. You had to get out the map and plot and get a bearing with the radio. And I plotted the direction we were to, you know, whatever it was on the compass. And then you're supposed to, you know, the wind and the tides and currents change. And so you're supposed to do this every hour, correct your your direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot about that, and we sailed almost all day and almost passed up the islands or heading to England. But so we had to fight our way back. But anyway, we got back. But then we were in, you know, we were heading towards Grand Bahama or some island, I don't know. And the wind was picking up pretty good. And so I said, let's just leave the sails up a little bit longer because we were sailing with the wind. You know, we were really making about 10, 12 knots. And I left it up too long and we couldn't get them down. And the waves were coming over the boat. And so the boat was a good tight boat. We could close the cabin up so we wouldn't sink or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we were all in the cockpit. And I tried to get the sail down because the sail would capsize us.
Mm-hmm.
And so after a wave would come over the boat, I had a rope tied on Jack and a jacket on him, and he'd run up to the mast and pull on the sail, and he'd get it down a little bit, and then I'd say, hold on, and he'd wrap himself around the mast, and the wave would come over the whole damn boat and hit him and everything else, and then I'd look, and yeah, he's still there. And then he'd pull on a little bit more, and finally we got the sail down, and then we were safe. We were bobbing up and down like a cart, but we were safe because it wasn't going to tip us over. But it was quite scary for a while there.